about football, but also to talk about the One Clemson Endowment. And guys, before we get to questions, if you guys could just give them a little bit of background on the endowment, who it benefits, why y'all decided to do it. Y'all kind of take it away, and then we'll go to questions after that.
Yes, so thank you guys for being here. I can say from myself and Ship, this is an honor for ourselves. The One Clemson Endowment is a 50-50 split on really just trying to help both the student and the athlete. That's what we see ourselves as, is scholar athletes. Two people who are here to get our education, our degrees, and succeed on the field. So that's kind of how we attacked it. One portion of this is going to the Hear Her Roar program, essentially helping a lot of our female athletes. Ship, in this partnership, Ship was really passionate about helping those ladies, especially, seeing specifically how, a great start that our softball program got off to. We really wanted to, financially help, our women's gymnastics and the lacrosse program as far as like they're starting, make sure that they had great support, financially. And then also, we are also students, so we wanted to really give back to the students on campus. We both, agreed on specifically helping the Harvey and Gant Center, specifically, focusing on their retention plan and program, and really trying to, aid these students and give them backing on allowing them to just stay in college and finish. Being here and finishing up, it's been one of the, the great pride and joys, being a part of Clemson University, and we really want everybody to experience that. So really, it comes down to just helping others, helping people who've kind of been in our shoes. Through Paul's journey, we've been, we've grown a lot and been able to see things and experience things that a lot of people necessarily don't get to do. So, holistically, that's what we're trying to do is spread Paul's journey throughout, the entire university in as many facets as we can. I'm excited to do this with Ship. There's, it started with some conversations with Paul Journey and trying to bring him in on it, but more than anything, I know what he embodies, and it's a partnership that will obviously last a lifetime. But that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, just kind of going off KJ. I mean, we're just so blessed to be in the position and have the opportunity to give back, and I wouldn't want to be doing it beside anybody other than KJ. He's the leader of this football team, and not only that, but what he does outside of this football team and off the field, it's just somebody that you want to be around and you want to have in your life. So just very, very appreciative to be beside him in this, and then talking a little bit about what we're given to, and being able to help the female scholar athletes, and helping the as he mentioned, the gymnastics and lacrosse programs kind of get started, and then being able to just admire what the softball team has been able to do with their start, and being able to watch them last year. And then you go and talk about the retention center, and being able to help students, and being able to kind of shift Paul Journey over from just a football thing to a regular student thing. And it's helped us so much, me especially, early on in my success here at Clemson, and to be able to give that to other students and help them in any other way is just such a huge thing, and we're both so blessed to be able to do it.
Why are we so passionate about trying to help the women's sports?
Yeah, we had a couple different options that we had kind of been brainstorming, and it's just something that kind of hit me, and I went to God, kind of asked him what he thought we should be giving to, and he just put a couple things in my life that allowed me to know that's kind of something that I'm very passionate about, and wanted to give back to be able to help.
Can you guys just elaborate a little more about how this particular partnership, the two of you, because from the outside, obviously different position groups, different sides of the ball. How do you guys sync up on this?
So the conversation started with myself and Jeff Davis and Paul Journey, really just talking about how I'm finishing up here and ways to give back, and really just leave my mark. And as much as I've been asked this a lot, like the last few weeks, like how do you want to be remembered, this, that, and the third, and honestly, it really has nothing to do with being on the field. So throughout those conversations and the guidance of JD, we kind of started, the talks of ways to do so, and but I knew I didn't want to do it alone. And while he was just the first one that came to mind. Ship was like, yeah, seeing obviously, what he does as a teammate on the field and stuff. But once again, that really had nothing to do with it. What he's done since the first day he's gotten here has inspired someone who's older than him immensely. Just his work ethic, his commitment, and really just everything that he's done off the field. As far as from a player's perspective, just a person in general. I'm like, I have to bring him in on this. And I asked him, but it's kind of like, when I was getting money from my father a couple months back, I knew what the answer was going to be, right? And so, like I said, I'm honored that he was able to jump in this shit with myself, and it's definitely just a partnership at this point. And that's kind of how it started. And since then, we've been in just numerous meetings, just trying to hash out the details of how everything's going to look. Where we want the finances to go and things like that. But yeah, it's just great conversation, and really more than anything, it started a couple months ago, but it really started the first day he came on campus, because it's very rare that as a freshman you come in and impact the team the way he did, and it doesn't start on the field. It starts in the classroom. It starts when you're working out, things like that. Like your teammates see that, they respect that, and that's kind of all those thoughts in my mind kind of came back. I was like, I have to do this with him. So that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, and then for me to kind of go off that, just talking about how special it is to be that guy for KJ, and for him to ask me to be a part of this. It's something that it's bigger than football. It's bigger than so many things, because as he's mentioned, this brotherhood will last a lifetime, and I wouldn't want to be in it with anybody else. He is the example. He's the example of somebody who embodies the Holy Spirit, and somebody who lives his life the right way on and off the field. As I mentioned before, he's the leader of this football team, and it goes way beyond that, because of the things that he does on the field, in the weight room, in the off season, but then also what he does around the community, and around this campus. So there's so many things that go into it, but I wouldn't want to be with anybody else doing this, and creating history, and I'm very, very excited about to see where it goes in the future.
You're going to have the opportunity to actually see some of the impact of this. Probably you're going to hopefully be here a couple more years. So what are you most looking forward to with that and having that opportunity?
Yeah, I think just being able to see it all come to fruition, and it's a lot like football. The work that you put in from January to August is what you see during the season, and it's the same way with this. All the work that we've put in, and the meetings, and just all the gritty hard work behind the scenes, to be able to see it pay off is a refreshing feeling, and something that as a human being you just love to see and feel.
KJ, is a little overwhelming at times to think that there are 8-year-olds somewhere out there who are one day going to play football or some sport at Clemson, and they may be able to benefit from this initiative.
It is. I think something me and Ship have both shared over the past few weeks is like we really don't understand the impact yet. When we will, we both don't know. We know we feel good about what we're doing, so the impact therefore should be good as well. But yeah, that's cool to think about. I haven't really thought about that myself, but really just knowing that we're trying to invoke a positive change, and when the torch is passed to you at this university, in this program, you're asked to leave it better than you found it, and I think this is a great step in doing that. So all those great fulfilling thoughts will continue to come, and like Ship said, it's really a blessing.
Well, I know when we talked to you Saturday, you said you wanted to take a little bit of time before you kind of thought about what your message would be to the team and the offense itself. Just How did you kind of handle that situation after the South Carolina loss?
Yeah, I think looking back at it, I allowed my flesh to overpower my Holy Spirit, that I live with every day. I was very frustrated, so it kind of all switched last night. Had a conversation with Coach Spiller before we headed out to practice, and he said to me, Jesus didn't get to pick when he got to lead. And that's when it really hit me is, I got to be the same leader that I was last week, leading up to the South Carolina game. That's kind of the way that I did it is I just went out there to practice and, I brought the energy. I brought the leadership. I tried getting everybody up and, just helping teammates see what we have ahead of us. So that's kind of what, God had laid upon me and how I've, decided to kind of go after it this week.
KJ, what's it mean to be back in this ACC Championship game and to have this opportunity to be back on the field this week when a lot of teams are at home waiting to find out their bowl future?
You said it. We're grateful. We earned this one. We earned this one, and that's kind of the message this week. And what I've reiterated to the team. I'm obviously coming off a tough loss though is the perspective of last year. I love the Oldeskowski, Nolan, like all those guys meant so much to me, and I try and honor them. And in moments like this where when the whole world's against you, like, oh, we didn't get this opportunity last year, right? And, we have to, get back in the driver's seat and really take full advantage of, like you said, being one of, 10 teams this weekend to play in the Power 5. So excited. We're excited and we're grateful, and we're attacking it each and every day, not leaving any stone unturned. Obviously, there's some mistakes that we have to fix, from last week, but the energy is in a really great spot. Definitely eager to get out to practice today.
When you think about, like, in the past, like, the playoff has been there as a possibility after the ACC title game. This year, it's not going to happen. Is there a different, like, place you have to find that energy from, a little juice for this game because you know that it's not another chance to impress for the playoff, really?
Honestly, I'd say there's a different place, but it's the same energy. Like, what I'm saying? You still the same amount of juice, right? Everybody has their own ways of getting excited and, drawing motivation. Some, are more dictated on other people's thoughts than others. Mine is just the ability and honor to be able to play the game and play beside these guys. So it really didn't matter, where we were going or what we were doing. Another opportunity to play the game at this level, at this university. I'm just as blessed and honored as I was when I was a freshman when I first got here. And that mindset's never changed. So really just trying to remind the guys, that that's the case. We have guys who sit in this facility today who, would still love to be playing right now. But, the guys, put them in a different direction, and so that's always the mindset. If we get another one and we're fortunate to play in it, then we're going to give it our all. There's no doubt about it. And, obviously we want to be at the top at the end of the season. And like you said, that's no longer going to be the case. But, there's so many bigger things that come out of these, these next two games. I mean, talking like real life lessons. And we're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna learn a lot about, what this team's really made of and the type of guys in this locker room. And luckily, me and him, we know what we got. But it's going to be exciting to put it on display these next few weeks.
Dabo was saying that he had y'all watch the tape together, offense and defense combined and stuff. Just what was that like for each of you, kind of doing the film study with
Yeah, it's definitely good to see the other side. I think, there's mistakes being made on both sides of the ball that hinder you to win a game like that, and they need to be fixed. It's disappointing that it's happening this late in the season, but it's part of life. It's part of the game, and mistakes are going to be made. Injuries happen. God's going to throw things at you, and it's just all about how you respond to it. So it's definitely good getting to see both perspectives, and getting to see the other side of the ball, and some mistakes being made on that side. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just got to correct them and attack this week.
I'll say too, it was interesting. Like it was cool to see because like on the other hand, as you can imagine, like a tough loss, and as players, nobody's more upset than we are, right? And So we're sitting with that, you know, for the next 24, 48 hours, scrolling through social media, seeing, you know, every thought imaginable. But the truth is in the film, right? So as a team, getting to come in and really work through all the mistakes that we made as a team, not one person, not one coach, not one call, but as a team collectively, then you get the truth, right? And that was a reminder for a guy who's been here 5 years. Like, it's even though the outcome wasn't what we wanted, it's not what everybody makes it to be as far as, you know, from a social media lens. And I think you guys kind of know where I'm pointing to towards that. So it's really just, we all have to be better. And there's nobody that played a perfect game. And it was good accountability from a team perspective to see what everybody's role is and how it fits into our success or our demise. So that was just another great lesson that, like Ship said, it's unfortunate that we had to learn so late in the season. But seeing the truth is always eye-opening, and I think it will better us going into this week.
Was that kind of his message that it wasn't just offense, it wasn't just defense, it was everyone that was making mistakes? That was kind of
100%.
his point.
100%. Yeah.
In that vein, I mean, guys can say, I'm going to get off social media, I'm not going to listen to the outsiders. In this day and age, 2022, being a college kid, is it possible to put social media away and not follow it, or do you just kind of have to do it because it's part of life?
It's very possible. I think it's what you can handle. Like, you know, I speak for myself. Like, I'm on it, but I know I can filter out the truth, right? You know, being someone who's been attached to this game literally since the age of 2 years old. You know, my dad being in Wake Forest, like, I know what is the truth when it comes to the game of football. You know, and then being someone who gets to see like the inside out, like the work that each player puts in. And then the big moment that comes with it, right? So it's all about, you know, what you can take. Now, some guys, and goes for just all sports, right? You can get consumed in that stuff. You really can, and you know, it's really unfortunate that we can allow people who I will probably never meet, never see, really affect, you know, our joy. But that's what I think was good about, you know, these last few days, is really understanding that the only opinions that matter are the ones in this facility, and those are the ones that we need to try and get better from. So yeah, there's a lot of players on the team now who are just not really into the social media thing, and it helps their mindset mentally, because that's where it starts. So you have to be good in the mind, and if you can, then do so, and if you can't, then you probably need to stay away from it. But definitely think it's possible, yeah.
It's a loud, negative, vocal minority that gets on social media. Does that negativity, when you're on there, wear on you?
For me, personally, I would say, you know, last year, maybe a little bit as a freshman, just being immature and, you know, always just wanting to see what others thought, you know, maybe looking for that validation. I don't know what it completely was, but this year it's definitely been a different feeling for me. You know, confidence just comes from within, and you know, I saw something on Twitter. I think maybe Nick Saban had said it, Coach Saban. You know, that criticism is just a tax that comes with success, and when you're successful as Clemson has been, then you know you're going to get criticism, and it's what you have to expect after you know, a game like Saturday. So if you can't handle it, then you know, as KJ said, you gotta be able to get away from it. But you know, it hasn't fully, definitely hasn't affected me like it did last year, for sure.
KJ, how do you guys slow down Trey May?
Whew. Great question. There's a lot of teams trying to figure out the answer to that. First off, what a talented player. Great, and he can put the ball anywhere. It's really like good with his feet too. Leads the team in rushing. You know, there's definitely, you got to give him different looks. You know, we got to just try and attack, you know, from a defensive front standpoint, and just got to compete, man. Got to compete. Obviously, he's been in the Heisman talks and, you know, breaking all these records, and you know, he's earned that, right? But that doesn't mean we bow down just because he's a great player, right? You got to go out there and really give him fits and compete. And that's really just the best way to go about it. You know, that's the message. You know, I try to give these guys all the time is, you know, when you playing big games, maybe like last week and this one coming up, and you know, you're playing good people, good teams. A lot of the times, you know, if you're not confident in yourself, like Ship says, your mindset shifts to, you know, not wanting to mess up, not wanting to lose the rep, and you're already defeated in that state. So the mindset's got to be, man, I just want to go win. I want to go dominate. I want to compete. You know, and I'm attacking. So that's mentally, that's got to be where we are as a defense. And obviously we have to be smart about it because he's not a dumb person, you know. But we'll definitely, obviously, be working through the week, you know, to try and answer that question. Yeah.
KJ, Dabo's talked a lot this year. It seems like every week he's reminding us that you guys have played like a really good quarterback, and it's kind of just continued to build. You've got another one this week. Does it feel like that? Like you guys have just had exceptionally good quarterbacks this year that you've played against?
Yeah, easily. This year has been the year of the quarterback. Like in my 5 years, this is the best quarterbacks I've played. Week in and week out, as far just from a talent perspective, everybody can throw the ball, everybody can run the ball. Nobody's just, you know, one-dimensional. So 100%, it does feel like that, but that's what makes it fun, right? That's what, you know, you come to Clemson for to literally play the best of the best, like, and so that's been exciting. That's been a fun challenge that I've been able to really navigate each week. We have as a defense. I mean, it's like trying to put a puzzle together each week, you know, and it never looks the same. But once you put it together, you know, you're excited and you move on to the next one. So, yeah, I really enjoyed, you know, that piece of it. I really have, and got a big puzzle to put together this week. There's no doubt.
KJ, did Rattler do anything that surprised you, or their passing game, or anything that surprised y'all in the defense?
Not surprised. You know, we talked about pregame that obviously we wanted to try and get him out of rhythm. The talent is there, and I mean he showed it versus Tennessee. Like he make every throw, athletic. You know, I think more than anything, on top of them capitalizing, right? You have to give them credit. Like we saw from the film session the other day that. We gave up a lot of things too. That's usually what happens. You know, when you lose a game, it's because you know, one side is capitalizing on another side's mistakes. So there's nothing he did outside of himself. You know, there's nothing new. Very good player, and you know, he did what we expected him to do, and we just didn't do what we expected ourselves to do. So that's what we got to correct and get better. You know, for this next week.
For both of you guys, being from North Carolina, I imagine anytime you get to go home and play a college game in your state, it's pretty special. But for an ACC Championship in Charlotte against the flagship university of the state, what do you guys think that's going to be like for you just emotionally?
I'll say for myself, it'd be exciting. Know some players on the team, some coaches who coach with my dad on the team, so that's kind of cool. The stadium is literally 15 minutes from my house now where I live, so a lot of family will be there. But yeah, anytime we're in the state of North Carolina, man, it's obviously home, and it's just a fun time. So it means a lot. It means a lot, and it's a unique experience for sure.
Yeah, for me it's special. You know, you can't take it for granted. You know, you grew up just dreaming of games like this, and you know, I'd go to them with my family, and we'd always watch. I always just want to be out there on that field, and now I get the opportunity to. So for me, it's special, and I'm just going to make sure to not take it for granted and just appreciate it.